Here's how to stop gooning as a young man. So many young men are struggling with things like gooning, lust, watching porn, and the main reason is because it's being pushed upon them. People are making so much money off these things. They're making so much money feeding off your lust. So they're getting you addicted. But you have to escape that cycle. You have to escape the cycle of gooning, lust, and watching porn because it will destroy your life, especially as a man. I have a 200K on TikTok. This is all I teach people about how to conquer lust, grow with God, etc. And I have a 5-step framework of how you can, stop gooning, stop giving into lust as a young man. So we're going to go over 5 topics this video. The first one is the habit cycle. The second one is loving yourself. The third one is finding purpose. The fourth one is finding intimacy. And the fifth one is finding God, which is the most important one. We're going to go over each one of these, how you can accomplish each one. And finally, stop gooning and get out of the cycle of lust. And one thing is, what's so bad about, corn addiction and gooning is it's like when you say you have an alcoholic, they're addicted to drinking. Imagine being an alcoholic, but you constantly have a bottle of alcohol in your pocket. It's the same thing with corn. You constantly have the device. I could look at corn in 2 seconds if I wanted to. It's always on me. It's always available. That's what makes it so hard and it's an addiction. So beginning with that, the first thing is habit. For many people, it becomes a habit. And what a habit is so they have a trigger, right? They get an urge. Maybe it's they're scrolling on TikTok a certain time of day. Maybe it's at 8 p.m. at night, a certain place. It's in their room or their bathroom. They take a shower, whatever. They get the urge, and the urge then sets off their brain. So their brain goes unconscious. Your brain gets in this unconscious state where it's not thinking. It's just doing, right? So the second the urge hits, boom, your brain goes to the unconscious state. You go down a routine. Maybe you have this like internal fight, but you always end up giving in. It's like, oh, I'm going to do this. And you start thinking, oh, well, the coping, well, maybe it's good for me one last time, then you always give in, and that's the routine. And then the reward is the feeling, after you goon, it feels good, you get dopamine, whatever. So that is the habit cycle. You have to break that habit cycle, because that habit cycle is what would destroy your life. So there's some few things you can do in order to break the habit cycle. One of them is you can just replace, the main thing you need to do is you need to replace the routine. You need to replace the routine. You need to replace like the reward. So they've done a lot of tests on rats and stuff about how habits work. There's the part of your brain, I forgot, it might be called the amygdala. I'm not completely sure. I read a book on it, and they do all these studies with rats, and your brain literally goes unconscious when this habit cycle starts. So you have to change the routine. So you're always going to have triggers, but you need to change the routine, interrupt the pattern. One thing you can do, which I say a lot about, talk a lot about, is light therapy, because I do own an app. It's called Rewired. You can download it in my bio, but it has light therapy, and light therapy works wonders because what it does is it breaks the state of mind. You're no longer in that unconscious state of mind, and you use light therapy and it breaks the cycle. That's what I preach for. You can do that. You can also find other routines, things like going to the gym. Whenever you get the urge, you go to the gym. It's just less practical because it's not on your phone. Going for a run, meditating, breath work. One drill you can do, that works extremely well, especially paired with light therapy, is this: reverse breathing. So you breathe in through one side, you close the other side, switch, out, in, switch, out. If you just do that over and over and over, it calms your nervous system. So you're no longer in that stressed, fear-like, bad nervous system which you end up getting stressed and gooning. It calms your nervous system, and that urge naturally goes away. So you can use those two things to help pair it up with light therapy. But for a lot of people, the reason why they're addicted to gooning is because it's a habit. They've gone after doing it for months and years, it just becomes in your brain. Like, you can do whatever it takes to stop, but if it's a habit, you have to focus on the habit. You can accomplish all these other things, but you're still going to goon because it's a habit. So you have to identify the habit cycle. What's giving you the urge, what time is it, what time is it, what emotion are you feeling, etc. You can use a habit tracker, right? You can use your notebook and just put down the habits. Okay, this is the emotion I felt when I had an urge. This is the time of day. This is where I was. This is what I was doing. That helps a lot. You can also use the habit tracker in Rewired. I'm telling you, it has one in the bio. But yeah, the first one, habit. Break the habit cycle. Number 2 is loving yourself. There's a lot of... It's like weird, you know what I mean? Humans kind of try to idolize self-hate, right? they idolize, oh, I hate myself, I hate myself. No, don't idolize hating yourself. You need to love yourself. And one thing that'll help you love yourself is, for a lot of people, for me, a lot of my self love came from performance based. When I was doing well, when I was making money, when I was getting views, that kind of made me love myself. But then when, those things dip, which naturally you get dips up, dip, dip, I felt like self hate. So what I've been practicing lately, which has helped me a lot, is just kind of finding love in just who I am. I went to the art museum. I've been like swimming daily, breath work, meditating, just like stretching, like just journaling, reading. It kind of helps you just calm your state of mind when you're aware. Another thing that helps you love yourself is doing things like, what do you respect in other people? When you see someone and you respect that person, what do you respect about them? Is it they wake up early, or they're disciplined, or they talk a certain way, they act a certain way? Start acting like them. Close your eyes. Imagine that dream version of yourself. Visualize him. How does he act? How does he speak? What does he wear? What does he do day to day to day? Close your eyes. Pause this video for 10 minutes. Visualize that person. And then boom, open your eyes. Act like that person. Be that person. Over time, if you become the guy you want to become, you're going to love yourself. So start just like meditating, becoming that guy. It helps a lot. Loving yourself is a huge issue because men get in these guilt cycles. For a lot of people, they'll goon, then they'll hate themselves after. They'll feel so guilty, so much shame. And you're just more likely to do it again when you say, I hate myself. Why do I do this? I hate myself. I hate myself. Instead, say, I love myself. I forgive myself. I'm not going to do it again because how much I love myself. You got to change your perspective on this stuff. Self-hate's never going to get you anywhere, but self-love will get you somewhere. Number 3, find purpose. We live in a weird society. I get, it's almost like the industrial revolution of comfort. Everyone's getting so comfortable. There's comfort constantly. Your phone, food, whatever it is, you're always able to have access for what you need. So men are not finding purpose. They have a lack of purpose. So we have the loneliness pandemic, the purpose pandemic, all these things. And what purpose is, it's just something that gives you a fire inside. It's something that, keeps you up late wanting to do more of it, and it wakes you up in the morning wanting to pursue it. For me, I've had different purposes. I think purpose, there's layers to your purpose, right? For a period of my life, my purpose was going to the gym. It was eating clean food, building my physique. That was like my purpose. It's all I cared about. It's all I thought about. Then eventually got old. Then I know entrepreneurship, making money, that got my purpose. That got kind of old. Now it's just like building something real. Posting these videos, helping people while also building my businesses. It's like this thing that just gives me so much fire inside. And one thing I will lie that kind of happened is with my videos, I kind of lost purpose for them throughout the month of January. And recently, the past few days, I've been getting my purpose back by posting like more creative videos that I really do enjoy posting. So you have to find your purpose. Your purpose is a huge key. When you have a purpose, your purpose can also be God, but when you have a purpose, something bigger than you, something higher than your own self, it's easy to say, I'm not going to give in to lust because I care more about my purpose than that quick hit of pleasure. So a purpose is huge. Find your purpose. The way you're going to find your purpose, just try things. Go out in the world, experience things, try things, travel. If you're, most of you guys probably are in a position where you can just travel because you're like in high school or whatever. Just start doing things. Start posting videos. Start trying things. So many people, they just watch TikTok all day and watch videos all day. They have no time to like figure out what they actually enjoy doing. So go out, experience, talk to people. Talking to people is a big thing, actually. I have this like sauna pack, right? Like this like group of guys who I go in the sauna with. They're like one's 22, some are like 30 in their 30s and their 40s. My other friends, Kellen Jackson, they're like both 18. But it's so fun. We're all in there and we're just all talking, and it's so interesting hearing everyone's like life story and where like how everyone got to be where they got to be. Some of it's sad too. There was one dude, he's I hope the best for him, but he's addicted to drugs, and it's sad. When he was 18 to 21, he built a business, became a millionaire, got in an accident. When he was like 28, when he was 26, he wanted to have a family, wanted to get married, have kids, super successful, got in a car accident, started doing drugs, doing hookers, all that. And then now he's 34, lives with his parents. He doesn't know. He's like, I can't get married, I can't have a family because I'm addicted to drugs, and it's sad. So find your purpose, stay humble. Okay, you can achieve the whole world, but things could switch quickly. So stay humble, find your purpose. Just a little story right there. Number 4 is find intimacy. We have a loneliness pandemic going on. More men are lonely than ever. That's why they're watching things like corn to try to fill that void in their heart of loneliness with something artificial, watching corn. But it never does the job. You just feel like it kind of fills it, then you feel empty and numb, worse and worse. So go out, talk to girls, take girls on dates. Try to find some sort of intimacy, some sort of love. I'm still trying to find that myself. But that's a big thing. It's a really big thing in today's culture. The loneliness pandemic, like that's why so many people are addicted to corn, right? It's because they're lonely. They don't have no connection, so they just watch this stuff. They just watch it and watch it and watch it, just try to fill that void, and it never does. So find intimacy, whether it's taking girls on dates, building a real relationship, not a relationship built on lust, but a relationship built on love. Find intimacy. It's huge. Number 5, find God. You have to find God. I think without God, you're going to drift through life. It's easy to give into, sin and lust when you don't have God. So find God. Find him. How do you find God? Well, me personally, it's like I have a constant wrestle with God, a constant wrestle with the existence of God. Things like meditation, you're just looking at nature and being calm, steadfast, my mind, stretching at night, no phone, no stimulation, it actually has helped me a lot. I think when you're always looking at your phone, watching YouTube, all these things, it's easy to kind of forget about God and maybe question God more. But when you practice calming your mind, being still, being truly still, like really just breathing stillness, you can kind of feel God more. You kind of think of God more. So I've doubted God less as I've practiced this stuff. Because the past few months, I've doubted him so much, constant wrestle with him. But the past 2 weeks when I've been practicing this stuff, I've doubted him less. And I felt him more. I've been growing with him more. So practice stillness. Meditate. Don't watch TikTok all day. Don't watch content all day. Have moments in your day where you're practicing stillness. For me, every night, I go to Lifetime Fitness. I do the sauna, the cold plunge, swim. I practice my breathing. I stretch. And in those moments, I feel calm. I can think clearly. I can feel God more. That helps a lot. Also, aligning your life to God, saying, I'm going to be a man of God. I'm going to live this certain way. I think action, of course, we're not saved by action, but action does help. When you say, I'm going to try to live as being a man of God, it's easier to get closer to God. But find God, because once you truly have that fire inside for God, you're not going to want to goon. You're not going to want to give in to lust. Find God, man. But I would say those are the biggest ways to stop gooning as a young man. Follow those 5 things. Download the Rewired app. It'll help you a lot with quitting corn, stop gooning, breaking urges. It's in my bio. It's the first link. Thank you all for watching this video. I love you all.